Get this, it's 1920s America and prohibition is in full swing. While speakeasies play a new musical genre called jazz, alcohol gets distributed through the new underground clubs. The time is roaring. Well, of course, except for the rampant polio virus still at large and the resurgence of a particularly pointy-hooded clan that will not be named in this video. Oh, and organized crime is more prominent than ever. Gangster flicks are some of my favorite films, from the 3-hour-long slow burner magnum opus that is The Godfather to the fast-paced balls-to-the-wall directing of Goodfellas. These movies have a special place in my heart, and so does the history of which a lot of these movies are based on. Seeing people build empires and then slowly seeing those empires crumble because the last domino piece that held it up together falls flat on its face is a joy I can't describe. Maybe it's because I indulge in a little too much schadenfreude for my own good, or maybe it's human instinct to watch bad things happen to bad people. But damn, are those bad people charismatic. The real Scarface Al Capone eluded police for years whilst being a nationwide celebrity. Everyone knew what he had done to amass his limitless fortune, but no one could seem to catch him. Isn't that shit interesting? Okay, let's put a cliff note on that. I know what you are thinking. Cybe, did you disappear for 5 months to become a fucking history channel? No. If you know me, you know I watch my anime. It's the worst transition of all time. If you know me, you know I watch my anime dubbed.
Head to a sock, Tokyo now!
I have recently delved into some subbed anime, but I do prefer to watch my shows dubbed. Needing to focus on reading is not something I want to do when I'm watching a show, especially if that show has sick animation. Also, partly because I can't read. But this decision on how I choose to enjoy my anime, well, it makes a lot of people pissed off. I can't walk into a single conversation with another human being about anime without seeing their inner neckbeard poke their fucking heads out in disappointment. With more and more foreign media marking its place in Western culture, reading subtitles for foreign shows has never been more normalized. And with a lot of dubs for those foreign shows being,
Grandma?
well,
Don't you ever call me that!
downright atrocious, people forget what good dubbed media actually looks like. So, what's a good dub? Where do I find them? And most importantly, why is Baccano the best? Well, I would say it's probably because of its amazing writing. If you have been on this planet long enough, you have definitely seen this movie before. Quentin Tarantino's masterclass is a well-regarded classic for its writing, editing, cinematography, and acting, and most importantly, non-linear storytelling. While not conned by this movie, it is the most notable example of it in pop culture. Slowly but surely, every single piece of the pie gets revealed until you get the full picture at the very end. Baccano does exactly this. Written originally as a light novel by Ryogo Narita, this story begins with two random people talking about a weird set of events on the Flying Pussyfoot, giving us an introduction to some of our characters. And when I say some, I mean some, because this cast just keeps growing. We're then dropped into a completely foreign world, left without any answers but a shit ton of questions that keep building as the show goes on. What happened on this train? Why is the mob after a guy named Dallas? Who are these people and why can't they die? Every single question gets an answer in the show, but as one question is answered, another is posed. The intrigue about what's going on with these people keeps you hooked, and it helps that every single one of these characters oozes the same eccentric personality of an old-time criminal like Al Capone. You see? I told you to put a pin on it, and now we came back to it. The voice acting in this show is one of the driving factors for how amazing it is. Highlights like the Robin couple Isaac and Miria, who are the second best combination since drinking and driving. The charismatic Firo, a member of the Martillo crime family, or the psychopathic Lad Russo, set on one thing and one thing alone: killing. Every one of these performers brings their A game to these characters. Take this scene for example. Lad walks into his uncle's room, a well-renowned mob boss. Not a millisecond into the scene and you can tell exactly who this guy is. A psychopath. The graceful and giddy way he enters the room. The benign and nonchalant way he speaks to his uncle.
But why not, Uncle?
A mob boss, and not the least, the way he ups his intensity every single time he squeezes this henchman's
Take them
throat.
by the throat and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until they foam like a dog, and then squeeze some more. When their eyes are about to pop out, you squeeze just a little more.
You can tell immediately that this isn't business to him. This is pleasure. The actors have free reign, adding accents.
Come on, put up your dukes. You think you're Pete Hammond? You're like Jack Dempsey.
speaking in a more natural cadence than the one we're used to usually associating with anime. The voices don't sound out of place or stupid. The names aren't so foreign to us that we get confused, precisely because the show is As a young, naive kid, watching anime set in high school was something so deeply interesting to me. A world yet discovered, I wondered what this magical place would be like. Now that I have more than 3 hairs on my dick and actually am in high school, I can tell you very certainly that this place fucking sucks. High schoolers are terrible people. I can smell the distinct aroma of kush in the air in the school cafeteria. The bathrooms aren't a place for excretion anymore, but a bona fide motel where people decide to have sex like rabbits. And the boys go around hoping a healthy dose of 2 cans worth of Axe body spray will make them attract the opposite gender. This place is fucking awful. So why is every anime set in it? You have the most creatively fulfilling medium at your disposal. Worlds way beyond your comprehension could be achieved with just the stroke of a pen. Fantastical lands with boundless limits can be brought to life, yet the entire industry said, how about we put it in high school? Well, not every anime. See, that's where Baccano comes in. The anime is set in that electric 1920s America during the Prohibition. The characters feel reminiscent of that era. Some of our main characters are bootleggers, others robbers, most mobsters. The characters feel so immensely relatable, not only for their writing and performances, but also because they feel grounded in the world they inhabit. These characters, these ideas, they all work in tandem with one another to maximize their capabilities. The psychopath mobster will always work as a character, like Tommy from Goodfellas, but when you ground your characters in the world they inhabit, those traits become all the more intriguing. This show is genuinely one of the most concise anime I've ever watched. The show pours that enthusiasm for its world and characters and writes a plot that lets every single one of those characters shine. No character gets left behind, and that's seriously impressive for an ensemble as large as this. I highly recommend this show if you're feeling dry on the almost robotic scenery of high schools and isekai fantasy RPG worlds that plague this new generation of anime. I've strategically kept myself from talking about the show itself, mainly because I believe it's best enjoyed raw. No lube. But if old-timey mob shows about immortals doesn't sound like a good pitch, maybe you should check out my video about Blue Lock, or maybe whatever this video to the right is. YouTube has specifically picked it out for you. I don't even know what it is. So, watch it, and tell me about it later. Okay. Bye now.